All right, with head coach Victor Santa Cruz, after another road win over Central Washington, you guys get to be back home. What are you most excited about being at this point in the season, being able to play at home again?
I think coming off of three incredibly tough teams and to see your team just continue to raise up for the next test, obviously, you want to be winning games. You practice, you prepare, you recruit. Everything is focused on, hey, winning. Can you win the game? And our guys have found a way to do that. So I'm extremely excited about that part with it. In all that, though, there's a lot to keep growing and a lot to get better. And there's areas of our, all three phases that we have to put some work in this week and keep getting better. This is all about what are you going to do this next week, and so that's our mindset right now.
You just said that you and obviously come off three very big wins against three pretty good football teams. Mm-hmm. Just what are your thoughts going forward? Does this kind of feel, and I hate to use the term, a trap game, because you've had three very emotional wins, and it's hard to for some teams it's hard to get up. But you always talk about winning the day.
Yeah.
So just how do you handle that this week?
No, being in the business this long, you realize that anytime you step on a field, college football, it is an opponent that's got a lot of pride. It's an opponent that is going to give you their best game. So the trap term, all that, I think that's for the outsiders looking in that aren't inside the game, that are the guys who are not practicing every day, the guys who realize that how much work and sacrifice it takes to be successful. That's not a concern of mine right now. The concern for me right now is you said, got to win today, and in winning today, we've got to look at, hey, how do we get better? Look at the tape, review it with our players. There's always something for us to improve on. I think everybody wants to be extraordinary, and to be extraordinary, you got to find a way to make the most with the ordinary. And the ordinary we have is our day to day, and so we're going to make the most of it. And our guys have got an attitude right now that I appreciate, where there's a humble, hungry attitude. We've got a lot to prove still. We've got a younger roster, and what I appreciate about these guys is number one, their love for each other, and then two, their love for the game, and three is just their willingness to keep growing. Even our own team would be the first to quickly put in place somebody who feels like they're entitled, because they realize this is an ultimate team game, and we know that it's GNAC play, it's a GNAC competition coming up this week, and if you're not ready for it, you're going to be prepared you're going to get embarrassed. Every team in this league and every coaching staff in this league is good. And so coming up this opponent this week, we know we got our hands full to be prepared for it and get after it. So let the other people on the outside go ahead and make their judgments pregame.
And talk about your defense. Another great effort by your defense. I think you had two players with 11 tackles.
Yeah.
But just talk how well they played in these first three games.
Yeah, they're growing. I mean, the thing we pride ourselves is that, hey, we're going to play fast. We're going to get the ball back any way possible, and we're going to stop the pressure of the run. And we want to make sure that when it comes to those passing situations, we want to create an environment for the offense that it's a high-pressured environment. And so our guys they love the scheme they're playing in. They're playing faster than it. Our coaching staff has done a very good job of making sure that we don't hinder them with a huge game plan. We try to make sure we tailor every defensive call to what our guys do best, and in that I think we have a lot of competition in the defensive roster as well. So it helped us quite a bit. I think it shows up. They've got a long ways to go though, and by no means do we crown them best defense in the world anything yet. But they're helping their team win a football game, and that's what I love about these guys. And they're going to run fast, and they're going to play like their hair's on fire, and they're going to be like a pack of crazy dogs that want to get after the football. And you play defense like that, you're going to have some success.
And talk about your opponent, Simon Fraser, who seems to have gone from a team that was, a few years ago where you can almost count on a win, to a team that's playing very competitive. It looks like this year.
No, they've got. It starts off with Kelly Bates. Their head football coach is doing an outstanding job. I know he's a good football coach. I know he's a good administrator. I think offensively, you look at them, they've got one of the best offensive minds out there calling plays for them in Joe Palpal. He's a renowned Canadian football coach, quarterback, and when you watch him call plays, you can tell that they are different every single week. They are looking to try to exploit anything they can. They're well organized, well planned out. So Simon Fraser, do not look at the record. They are coming up, and I think right now, you had their running back got over 200 yards against Humboldt State's defense. And so they have athletes. Their quarterback is playing extremely good football. He makes great decisions. He's got a live arm. He's a lefty. He's athletic. And so you can see in them is a football team like every Simon Fraser football team with a lot of pride. They have their athletes, and they're going to put together a great game plan. So we've got to make sure we're going to get after this thing this week. And like I said, it's a chance to play college football. There isn't any vacations during college football season. So the vacations are after it's all said and done. So we know, hey, today is just as important as any day. That we got to know, we got to attack this thing. So that's where we're at. If anybody is thinking it's any kind of vacation time, well, maybe they should take a vacation and go somewhere else, because this is about getting to work and getting after this thing. So we're excited for that.
Coach, your team's among the national leaders in red zone efficiency, offensively and defensively, special teams, return yardage, special teams allowed, turnover margin. You guys gave away your first one, but got another 3 back by interception. Which of those areas has been the biggest key to the success you've had so far this season?
Every single one of them. I think it's, the game of football is a culmination of all those things, and you're looking for guys to be great in every one of those categories. Obviously, turnovers, when you look at statistics, speaks really highly of wins and losses. And +2, your odds pretty good are going to win the game. And right now, we've been doing a good job of being in the positive side of things. And it's a mindset, both offensively, taking care of the football, and defensively, getting the football back. I'm really excited about our special teams, what they're doing. I think where it shows a lot about our roster and the attitude that our players have, and knowing that is the big play. It's an attitude that I think Coach Heigert, our special teams coordinator, does an outstanding job of saying, hey, this is the big play, and you got to make it happen. And our guys now are seeing the fruit of that. With the red zone efficiency, I think that's one of the ones that you've got to make sure when you get down there, it's so hard to move a football. And when you get down there, you've got to find a way to come up with points. And right now, in the last game, we were 100% in the red zone. I know that our opponent was only 50% in the red zone, and that speaks in a close game of, hey, this is how the outcome's going to go our way.
And then last thing I've got, coming back home, you this week represents kind of an opportunity to reach out into the community a little bit. I know halftime you're working with some youth football, and then pregame you're hosting a young boy as part of the Coach to Cure MD program that AFCA puts on. What do these programs mean to you as far as how your team connects with the community?
This is one of the most fun weeks, because we across the nation, the American Football Coach Association is going to bring to light spotlight the Coach to Cure program, which helps out young men who are being challenged with a disease that it breaks your heart they have to go through at such a young age. And we're fighting this fight. And so Coach to Cure MD, you're gonna see all the coaches wear the patches on their sleeve during the game day. And I think we want to bring to the community awareness that people need to get involved financially, number one, because the reality is the research that's happening for any disease. I think we go to bed at night thinking like, oh, there's plenty of money out there for it. The reality is when you do the homework, this is a disease that there hasn't been a lot of money and relatively short time to go towards the research. And this disease needs to have money to go to research. Unfortunately, money is what's holding up some of these the research, more testing, all these lab work. It costs money. And so the sooner that the world can get involved and say, hey, just start writing a check toward this, I think that the faster we're going to find a cure for these young men who, there is young boys when they get it, and their life expectancy doesn't look as great for another young man. So it's one of those things that the American Football Coach Association is going to fight hard to bring awareness to it. And I know there's a lot of other diseases out there that need attention, that people do need to get involved and continue to put our finances towards real solutions to help people live a successful life. And so this is one of those weeks where I'm excited our program gets to be a part of.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thank you very much.